Hi there, I'm Gil McKiff. I'm a certified executive coach with Achieve Today, high performance coach certified with Brennan Burchard, certified miracles coach. And today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about the five causes of suffering. And I'd like to set it up first by talking a little bit more about what is suffering. The way I define it is simply when you're experiencing anything less than what you would choose emotionally. So if you're feeling fine, that might be okay, but if you were to exercise your choice, how would you choose to be feeling? I think anybody's going to choose something in the neighborhood of love, peace, joy, fulfillment, or freedom, something that's more in alignment with the authentic nature. Um, so if you're experiencing anything less than what you would choose, there's five causes for this. I like how Eckhart Tolle in The Power of Now, he says choice begins the moment you disidentify from the mind and its conditioned patterns. So choice is something that comes from the authentic nature and not necessarily from the mind. The mind makes decisions that are based on pleasure and pain, and it's in an automatic assessment of the circumstances. I perceive more pleasure this way, I perceive more pain that way, I'm going this way. And it's a split second decision that the amygdala is a strong component in facilitating that. The amygdala scans the archives in the subconscious to give meaning to the data of the moment. And based on the meaning that we give to the moment, this is our interpretation of the moment. This is the automatic interpretation that sets off a reaction that's showing up in an emotional state. So if somebody comes up and says, "You won! You won!" you wouldn't be choosing your excited emotion, it would happen automatically. Because again, the amygdala scans that information and says, oh, I know what that means. That's something good. What did I win? And so there's an excited emotion. And uh, conversely, if you were walking up to a really close friend who was obviously really sad, and as soon as you approached them, they looked up with tears in their eyes and reached their arms out, and they're obviously wanting a hug. You wouldn't be choosing the empathy that comes through in that moment. It would be an automatic reaction. It's a reflex. So these reflex decisions are made by the mind based on an interpretation, which is based on our conditioning. And choice begins, again, the moment you disidentify from the mind. So if you're experiencing anything less than what you would choose, then it's the mind running the show and this automatic interpretation running the show. So again, today we're going to talk about the five causes of suffering. And because if we're going to get any kind of a permanent result, it's not going to do us a whole lot of good to work on the symptom over and over and over again. And this is what most of our techniques do. Most of the clearing techniques are working on the symptom. And the difference between the three-step process and the clearing techniques is almost, if not all, clearing techniques are used because we want to create a change. We want to change something. Whereas the three-step process is about getting present, cultivating the awareness in the observer. So again, the five kleshas, the five causes of suffering are what we're going to talk about. To work on the cause is to work on a permanent solution. So I'm going to name those really quick, and then we're going to spend just a few minutes talking about each one of those. The first cause of suffering, which is the cause of the other four, is ignorance of our real nature, not knowing what we are. So ignorance of our real nature. The second cause is the result of that ignorance of our real nature, and that's this limited sense of self known as ego or egoism. The ego produces the remaining three, and that is, ego also is mind, body, identity. We'll talk more about that. But the remaining three are attachment, aversion, and fear of death. So we're going to take a few minutes and talk about each one of those in the upcoming clips. So stay with me, and I look forward to sharing more with you.